Hello, Scrappy Peeps! Suzanna here today for the second episode of Die Cuts for Scale It Down, a collaborative series that I do with my friend Simone, showing you how to scrapbook in your traveler's notebook. So that is the spread that I completed for this week, and I used some digital die cuts. The die cuts I cut out using my Silhouette Cameo, and they are small die cuts. They're just small little things to embellish the title that go with this fairly simple spread. So I have two photos of my son doing an open water swim, and this traveler's notebook that I'm working in is his swim journal. I have some scraps that I've pulled from various scrap sources that I have. I used a lot of red and blue, so I have a red and a blue bin. I also have, you saw there, that folder that is all black and white goodies. And so that is Bella Boulevard that I'm just putting behind those two photos, and they are going to go on the left-hand side of the page. And I've chosen the color theme here to be red, black, and white because he is wearing a red cap, he has a black suit, and he's also wearing a white cap. And so those were the colors that I chose to go with. So it's a very simple spread with just those two pictures and that pattern paper on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to use that swim banner, which is a Juliana Michaels digital cut file, and then swim, which is from the Silhouette store, to form the top of the right-hand page that will be my title and my journaling. So I'm going to run the word swim through my Xyron sticker maker, and I am actually just going to use my Prima glue pen for the banner there. And what I like about that banner is it kind of replicates the banners that are in the home zone. I'm sure it has a name, the finish line of that open water swim there. And I again chose the colors red and black just to complement the colors of the layout that I was going to use. And I knew that I wanted open water to be stamped. I could have also used a die cut, but I didn't want too much weight from the die cut. And so that's why I went with these black outlined stamps from Feed Your Craft. I toyed with the idea of coloring them in red, which also have looked pretty sharp, but I really just liked that plain look of them with the paper from the Traveler's Notebook poking through. So I'm going to use my VersaFine ink to line that up and stamp that. There are two E's that need to be stamped, and so I'll have to do that a second time. I had to move the title down a little bit because I wanted it to be somewhat level with the top of that pattern paper on the left-hand side there. I always test what I'm stamping before I actually stamp it, especially when you're stamping in a traveler's notebook that can get a little bit bulky. And now I'm going to stamp that second E in there. So the title is split above and below that banner, which was the die cut, and then swim being the other die cut that I used. So when you use die cuts in your traveler's notebooks, I mean, you can go to town. You can use tons of them if you want to. You can use big die cuts as I did last week, or you can use small die cuts. You can use words. The sky's the limit, just as it is with scrapbooking on a 12 by 12 or an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It's really no different, and the way that you would apply the die cut down to that paper is also going to be a very similar manner. So now I want to work on that journal space. That is a Project Life card from Coco Daisy from ages and ages ago. I actually turned it what would be upside down so that that label is down the bottom, and I used some Jelly Bean stickers and put in SML, which stands for Smith Mountain Lake. That's where he did the open water swim, and then he did two swims, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The Saturday swim was the 5K, and the Sunday swim was the 1 mile, and so that's what I'm putting in there is the 5K and the 1 mile. I did not leave a lot of space for journaling here. I figure that the stories are elsewhere. And really, the swim journal was more about being able to keep track of time for him. Now, I did want a little bit more black in that. I felt that they just kind of sat there, the titles of those particular swims. So I liked the way that these labels from Teresa Collins with the black, they gave you A, lines, and they gave B, a little bit more definition to that journal tab, and it made a lot more sense because you didn't have that white space against all of the dark space that is on that left-hand side of the page there. And you will see that I don't, in this video, put the times in there, nor do I have the times in that final pictures or the close-ups that you'll see at the end, but they will go in there. I was kind of hoping to have him write them in there so that it's his handwriting. It's just not a lot of his handwriting, and it will literally just be numbers. But there is space underneath that second black label between where the time will go and the SML label, where a little bit of journaling could go if we wanted to put some journaling there. I felt like I needed a little bit more red on that left-hand page because that red that's in the banners was very dark and very bright. And so by cutting that today, that goes above that second picture there, it provides much more contrast to those red banners on the opposite side of the page there. I am actually going to go in off camera, and I'm going to put some black washi tape at the bottom of that photo strip there, and I'm also going to stamp some stars at the top. It just creates a little bit more balance and weight to that left-hand page. I felt that black was necessary of the washi in order to contrast the dark black in the die cut. So what I did just now was I dug through my stash of enamel dots, and I got some fine enamel dots to put on either side of today. Again, it just provides more of that contrast in the colors that I'm using. And now I'm using some planner holographic numbers, and I'm going to put 2018 at the top of that top picture there, and that is going to wrap up how I use die cuts in my Traveler's Notebook for the Scale It Down series. Be sure to head over to Simone's channel and see what it is that she did with die cuts. I'm sure she has something absolutely fabulous to share with you, and be sure to stop back in 2 weeks when we have our Grab 5. Enjoy the close-ups that are to follow. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.